Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine and I hope you all had a great game week 1. I'm not even sure how to say how I did. I scored 95 points in game week 1, which kind of felt pretty good in itself, but when you log on to Twitter and you see scores like 110, 114, 100 plus congratulations going around, it just feels a little underwhelming. I think only Twitter can make you feel like that. But it's for the good that I wasn't on Twitter much, so I still feel good about my game week 1 prospects. If you were on my deadline stream, you would have known I was kind of swinging between Greenwood and Barnes right till the end, and I decided to go with Harvey Burns, which in hindsight I think wasn't the best decision. Malloy says it's 94 for me. I think that's pretty good, Malloy. I think you just need a solid start, and you just have to build on that. There's nothing more to be kind of extracted out of game week 1 except that you start solid and you just build up on that start, and you plan your kind of future transfers. That's exactly. Gregor says 100, and that's pretty good, my friend. I wish I was in the 100 club as well. Just feels better. But I'm happy with the start. I'm happy with the decisions I made. Except I think the two budget midfielders that I selected in Rafinha and Barnes. I'm still happy with Rafinha. He got a really good chance, and to score a goal. I still don't know how he missed that chance, by the way. And Barnes didn't look really good. So Barnes is the one which I'm not really happy about. I should have kind of, in hindsight, I say again, I should have gone with Greenwood, but I'm pretty happy with the overall kind of start with my team. FPL Sum says 96. That's awesome, my friend. I really like that. So at least it's the community is as happy as everybody got good scores. Barry says he's got 100 as well. So I'm happy that everybody who watches the stream kind of got off to a good start. And what you do from here is kind of is gonna govern your overall kind of rank at the end. How you manage the fixtures, is fear of missing out. Is it hampering you? Is it helping you? So many things are gonna work out. Oh, Smelly Web says 104. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you, my friend. That's a great start, and I really hope you build on that. FPL Sam says Rafinha miss. It wasn't pretty, was it? I mean, I was expecting him to score. He just never kind of misses those kinds of chances, but he did. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take you through my team a bit, although I already talked a bit about that, but I'm just going to tell you about my team, and then we're going to move on to discussing the best picks for the upcoming game weeks, in which I'm going to take you to Fantasy Football Fix, and I'm going to show you the stats of the players which I think are good for the upcoming weeks, and which you should keep and not keep, and then I'm going to answer your questions as well. So I'm going to make this stream around 1 hour long, so let's get started. So with the Sanchez pick, I was it wasn't long before Brighton conceded. It was, I think, on the 2-minute mark that Tarkowski kind of scored the goal. It's a debate that the goal should have stood or not, but I'm not going to go into that. But Brighton looked decent after that, although I think Burnley should have scored more after their first goal. They didn't, but I think he's looking good for game week 2 against Watford. Is Sanchez, so no complaints there. I don't think he's going to get too many save points. Is Sanchez? I think either he gets a clean sheet or he doesn't. With Tsimikas, I was happy. He was taking set pieces, and I also tweeted out that our man Tsimikas is now taking corners. So I was happy with that. But I saw pictures of Robertson kind of out training, running, and I think it's going to be a matter of the first international break. So if you have Tsimikas, I think he's out. He's basically with you for the next 3 game weeks, and after that, I think Robertson is going to come into the team for sure. Luke Shaw was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest with you. That one goal that conceded, and what a brilliant goal that was by Ayling as well. But Luke Shaw wasn't convincing for me. Didn't create too much. I saw him like run up and down the flank, but I didn't notice much else. He did take corners. I think he took 2 or 3 corners if I remember correctly. But I think we all just need to own Shaw right now, just because his ownership is that high and the fixtures are really good. So he's not gonna go anywhere from my team, even though I was not enthused by Gameweek 1. Trent Alexander-Arnold was a bit underwhelming, to be honest with you, and I expected more from him. He took a free kick, created a few chances, but he wasn't as much in the game as I would have wanted him to be. That's something to for me to monitor, but the fixtures are so awesome that he's just gonna be in my team. Rafinha, already talked about him. He missed that open kind of chance. He was like one-on-one with De Gea. I think Andy Roberts it was who played the ball to him, and he just shot it wide. I think he was just maybe it was the crowd, maybe it was just the situation that he was in, that he missed that and that chance. By the way, my boys, both Rafinha and Shaw, they just fouled each other, and Shaw fouled Rafinha for the yellow card, and Rafinha fouled Shaw for the yellow card. So it was just all merry, I guess. And Fernandes, guys, the hat-trick was amazing, and for whoever did not pick Fernandes in Gameweek 1, I really feel sorry for them. I never expected Fernandes to score 3 goals, but I always advocated going with him. Ever since my first video, I've been saying the 3 players that you should be going for are Trent, Salah, and Fernandes. So if you didn't go with Fernandes, all I want to say to you is just find a way and get Fernandes in your team. That's all I want to say to you. Barnes was underwhelming, as I already said. The decision was between him and Greenwood, and I could have joined the 100 club had I gone for Greenwood, but Barnes it was. Salah, my captain, fairly standard performance against Norwich. What I noticed was Salah was more creative, in this game. He made 2 assists and he scored a goal as well, but he was very creative, and it was nice to see that he has a potential for getting more assists this season. Ivan Toney is somebody really interesting that we have to talk about, because I know many people have him in their teams and they're kind of considering whether to keep Ivan Toney or to get rid of him. I don't think he's done anything to warrant kind of taking him out of the team just because he was playing deep and defending against Arsenal. I think it was the first game in the new stadium for Brentford, and after 70 years in the Premier League, I think they just wanted so much to win that everybody was putting in the work rate. But the way they played against Arsenal, I was pretty enthused. And Ivan Toney scored 31 goals in the championship last season, so I don't think he's going to play deep every game, or he's going to drop deep and play like a defensive midfielder every game. But even then, like, he had 2 amazing chances of assists, one for Mbeumo and one was for I don't remember the other one who it was. I think it was somebody, I don't recall the name, but he created some good chances. So if I was you, I would be enthused by his performance, and I would keep Ivan Toney for the next at least 2 fixtures, and after that I would assess what I want to do with him, because his next 2 fixtures are good. Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, I wouldn't get rid of him. Even Brighton at home, I think you keep him for these fixtures and you assess after that. Even if you want to get him out, I think these are the fixtures you really want to target. Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester. These are the fixtures that you can get him out for. Danny Ings was, I wasn't impressed by the way Aston Villa played, in general against Watford. I mean, Watford scored 3 goals before Aston Villa actually woke up. I think it was more to do with Ismail Assar, running them crazy. I think it was Matt Target, it was, right? Ismail Assar just ran him, rugged down that channel, that right-hand channel. And, after the second half, they made a change. They brought on, they put Ashley Young, and then, they brought on Leon Bailey as well. And only after that did Aston Villa, get some control of the game. And Ings was on penalties. That may be, a good sign for the owners. But I think I will hold Ings for maybe the next fixture against Newcastle, and maybe even against Brentford. And after that, I think I might move him on, because I'm interested in a certain striker in the same price category who was amazing in game week 1. It's DCL. He did so well. So many crosses by Everton, and DCL is the perfect target man to put them all off. So I'm really excited by what DCL is capable of. But for the next 2 fixtures, I think I'm going to keep Danny Ings and hope he can, get some returns against a very leaky Newcastle at home in Villa Park. Antonio, as you all know, he missed a penalty. He was initially on penalties, but he missed it, and now he says that the penalties could go back to Declan Rice. But otherwise, he had a good performance. He could have scored more. For anybody who owned Benrahma, I was really kind of jealous. I wanted Benrahma in the team, but you can't have everybody, as I always say in FPL. But after the game, I was still happy owning Antonio. If he can stay fit, he has some good fixtures coming. Crystal Palace, Southampton. I think he's going to do really well in these games. So I'm a happy Antonio owner, to be honest. On the bench, there's nothing much to see. Ben White. The less I say about Arsenal, the better, guys. I've been in pain the entire weekend because I think you already know I support Arsenal, right? But it's just wasn't good, to be honest with you. The entire Arsenal performance. The only one I would be encouraged about is maybe Emil Smith-Rowe and Kieran Tierney. But other than that, it was shambolic. It was really bad. But I don't want to talk about it too much. Ayling was good. The goal he scored was absolutely fantastic. Could be one of the best goals of the weekend. And I think he's fine. He didn't get any attacking returns last season, and the first game this season he's got a goal. So I'm happy owning Ayling. I'm happy owning Gilmore as well. He had a good performance. I really liked what he did. As you can see, Liverpool, they won 3-0 against Norwich, but he still has 14 BPS. That means he's definitely gonna, against some easier teams, he definitely has the potential to kind of his on set pieces or maybe an assist. If he gets even a single assist, I think he's gonna get lots of bonus points because of the way he plays. So I'm happy owning Billy Gilmore, especially because everybody who went for Brownhill didn't start for Burnley, and Gilmore did, and I think he's going to start all the games. So I'm pretty happy owning Gilmore. So that's all about my team, by the way, guys. Let me read your comments. FPL Jug says hi Wiz. Hey Jugs, welcome. Tully says Tony as well, only 2 points. Yep, I talked about that. Akshay says hi Wizard. Hey Akshay. Harry says 108 and no Bruno. That is fantastic, bro. That's very good. Matt says don't have Bruno, we'll just go without for another week. Greenwood cover and have Mahrez and Son. That is fantastic, Matt. If you don't want to go for Bruno, that is absolutely fine. And you've got Mahrez and Son, who I think have both got good fixtures in Game Week 2. So totally fine, totally fine. But if you went for somebody like Mane over Bruno, then I think you should definitely think about going for Bruno. If you kind of spread the budget around and you can't do it in one transfer, it's better to wait for Game Week 3, I'd say. Musaid says, do you see Barnes picking up points next game week? I'm not sure, my friend. I'm not sure. He was just not in the game. He wasn't in the game. He was stuck to the flank for the most of the game, and then they switched to 3-5-2, and Barnes had a chance to put Vardy through, and he took the wrong decision, tried to cut inside, lost the ball, and then he was subbed off for Iheanacho. So not enthused by owning Harvey Burns, to be honest with you. If I kind of didn't want to roll my transfer this game week, I would definitely take Barnes out for Greenwood. I would. Ramanathan says if Watkins is back, maybe Ings benefits. Yep, definitely. I think if Watkins plays, I think that will help. They're gonna have more presence up front, and I think Watkins helps them to regain possession quickly. I think he initiates that press. Ings wasn't doing that at all. So I think Watkins, if he comes back, is gonna be a good thing. Mohammed Alishbani says good evening my friend. Babin says thoughts on Mahrez and what's your transfer plan. So I think if you have Mahrez, you keep him. If you don't have Mahrez, you don't get him for game week 2. That is exactly where I'm at with Mahrez. You know, if you already own him from game week 1, you should not transfer him out. But if you don't own Mahrez, then you don't bring him in for game week 2. That's all I want to say about Mahrez. My transfer plan is kind of so if you have Sushant says keep or sell. So if you have Mahrez, you keep him. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. That is my plan about, or that is my opinion about Mahrez. My transfer plan is either I'm going to move from Harvey Burns to Mason Greenwood, or I'm going to roll my transfer. That's where I'm at. I was also thinking about going for maybe Jack Grealish in place of Harvey Burns, as you already know. Let me show you my transfer page, as you can see that how much money do I have in my bank. So I've got 1 million in the bank. I kept 1 million in the bank from game week 1, and in hindsight, maybe not the best decision, because I might have gone for Greenwood. But you know, I'm thinking about upgrading Harvey Barnes to Green. I mean, I want to accept that I was wrong, right? I made the wrong decision, so I might change Harvey Barnes to Greenwood, and you know, that is one option. The second option is I trust my pick in Harvey Burns, and I keep him against West Ham United, and then I take him out afterwards, because in game week 3, that is the fixture I actually wanted him for. It was Wolves and Norwich, so he plays Norwich in game week 3, and if I don't take him out for game week 2, I'd be tempted to keep him for game week 3 as well. So I'm kind of in a bit of a dilemma right now, but I never make early transfer decisions, and that is exactly why I kept money in the bank for. So I'm going to think about it a little bit more. But the only options is either Barnes to Greenwood, or I'm going to roll my transfer. Some says have Jota, don't know what to do, have 0.5 in the bank though, might keep him for his late cameo. To be honest with you, Sam, I don't know your team, but if I had Jota, I'd be slightly worried, because you know, I think Firmino and Jota currently are mutually exclusive. I don't think Klopp wants to play them together. It's gonna be either Jota or Firmino. So I would be a bit concerned if I was a Jota owner. But if you want to keep him, that's totally fine. I think he had a good performance as long as he was on the pitch. But, you know, the time he plays for might be limited. Matt says Ings didn't do much, but it was a makeshift midfield, and him and Buendia settling plus Watkins missing. Totally agree with that. That's exactly why I said, you know, I want to keep Ings for the next 2 game weeks and then decide, you know. Todd says, my sympathy with your 2 50-50 picks came up wrong. Thank you so much, Todd, but I'm pretty fine with that, bro. I think, you know, when you get like 95 points in game week 1, I don't think there's much to complain about. And I made a conscious decision. It was not that I wasn't aware of the other players I could go for. I made a conscious decision to go for Harvey Barnes and Rafinha, and you know, if it wasn't vindicated, I'm pretty okay with that. I think we've got free transfers and we can fix it. But thank you so much, Todd. FPL Jug says I'm thinking about Torres for Barnes. To be honest with you, I wouldn't go for Torres, my friend. You know, please don't blame me if he kind of goes and scores a hat-trick. But I'm not sure about any Manchester City picks at the moment. I don't know what Pep's gonna do. You know, like, I saw their team against Tottenham. It was such a strong attacking team, but they didn't do much. You know, they kept getting time and again. Spurs kept countering them. Like, Lucas Moura was really effective. So was Heung-min Son against them, and I think they're gonna punish Norwich. I think they're gonna be you know, they got beat in game week 1. They're going to be angry, and they're possibly going to punish Norwich. But which asset do you get is the problem. I've got 1 million in the bank. I could go from Harvey Barnes to Jack Grealish, you know, but just not sure. I'm just not sure about the City picks. By all means, if you want to go for Ferran Torres, but I think even Gabriel Jesus might have a chance to come in, and then if Mahrez starts on the right, and you know, maybe if Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden are now fit as they were subbed in against Spurs, where is the place for Ferran Torres? I'm not sure, bro. Sushant says keep or sell Buendia and Tony. So I'd say you keep both Buendia and Tony, my friend. because I think Buendia has a fixture against Newcastle, who were very, very leaky in their defense against West Ham United. So I would keep both of them for one more game week. But if you want some money for some other transfer, I'd say the one I'd be more inclined to sell is Buendia. The reason being because Buendia has tough fixtures after game week 1 anyway, game week 3 anyway. So starting game week 4, Buendia has tough fixtures. With Ivan Toney, I think he's their talisman, and I'd be more tempted to keep him. Matt says Barnes to Greenwood is a decent, but Barnes could be nice for the Norwich game. See, he could be nice, but we don't know whether he starts or not, and I am a little bit concerned about that. He was subbed off at, I think, the 70-minute mark was Harvey Burns, and I was concerned. I was concerned because, we expected Leicester to run behind that Wolves back line, but it didn't happen the way we envisaged it to happen because they kept running into offside. And I was so frustrated watching the game with Vardy, being offside so many times, and Barnes was just, hugging the flank. It wasn't the most enthusiastic performance for me, but I will not make any transfers until Friday, so no matter what happens. Commenter says, do you think changing Wilson into Calvert-Lewin is a good move? I was actually encouraged by Wilson's performance, although he wasn't as good as Calvert-Lewin, but I think Wilson's on penalties for Newcastle, and he's the focal point of their attack, so if you want to keep Wilson, I wouldn't be against it. The fixtures are alright as well, so, I'd say if you picked Wilson from the start, I don't think Calvert-Lewin is essential at the moment, to if you want to replace Wilson. I was thinking like I've got Ings and I could just replace him with Calvert-Lewin, but I don't think right now is the time as well. Venkatesh says Greenwood injured, or Gundagan injured, sorry. Who should I go for, Benrahma or Greenwood? Definitely, bro. Venkatesh, if I was you and I had Gundagan, by the way, I had some news about Gundagan. I tweeted it out earlier. They said that Gundagan has had scans on the shoulder and it doesn't look as bad as it was initially feared. So I would wait until Friday, but if I had to make one transfer, I'd say it should be Greenwood. I would not go for Benrahma. I would go for Greenwood. Definitely would. Akshay says Mahrez or Grealish. Akshay, I wouldn't go for. It's really tough for me to say because if you didn't start with any Manchester City players and want to go for one, I'd say. Grealish maybe is a little bit more nailed on, but Mahrez has a higher ceiling. But I'm scared that after his performance against Spurs, is he going to start? I'm not sure about Pep. I can't say anything about what Pep is going to do. Nahil says, hello Wiz. Hey Nahil, welcome my friend. FPL Sam says, I think KDB and Raz will be the players hauling in Game Week 2. It could very well be, maybe Sterling is going to start false 9. Who knows what's going to happen. But if KDB starts, that is gonna be carnage against Norwich City, I tell you that. It's gonna be carnage. I'm expecting City to win by at least maybe 4-1 or maybe 3-1 or something like that. I was encouraged by Norwich's performance as well. I think they have the potential to score against anyone. They should have scored against Liverpool too, to be honest with you. And I'm enthused by Norwich's attacking threat. So I'd say they might score 1 goal against City. Might not be the best news for the owners of City defense, but I'd say if KDB starts, it would be absolute carnage. Nahal says 100 plus points, still did not break into the 100k. Is the template too strong this season? Nahal, to be honest with you, I wouldn't. That's a great score, so congratulations. And I wouldn't worry too much about getting into the top 100k in the first game week. It actually makes no difference. You just that means if you got a good score, that means you have the right players, and you just continue building on your team. I think you're just gonna go from strength to strength. Just keep the fear of missing out away. Just that is what mistakes we make at the start of the season. So just be solid and steady. I mean, that's my playing style, so I can just tell you from my experience, be solid, be steady, and one of these game weeks you're gonna have a really so you just kind of tag along, pick the right captains, don't take too many risks, and you're gonna have one of these game weeks which is gonna push you into that territory where we all want to be. So that's just what I would recommend. Matt says, yeah, KDB would be great to own this week. Absolutely would be great, but you cannot have them all, bro. And after Bruno scored 20 points and Salah scored 17, I don't think we can afford to have KDB. Commenter says, what about changing Ings into Jimenez game week 4? To be honest with you, I want to tell you one thing. There's going to be some players traveling to South America for the international break between game week 3 and game week 4, and there's just rumors at the moment that when they come back, they might have to quarantine for maybe game week 4 as well as game week 5. So take that with a pinch of salt, because I can't say with any amount of certainty, but I was also planning to get Jimenez in game week 4, but I will wait to kind of see what happens with those players going to South America and coming back. And yeah. Ramanathan says it's Jimenez DCL from game week 4. I think DCL should be fine, but with Jimenez we need to wait and watch about stuff, right? Abirup says, hi, what do you think about removing Trent Alexander-Arnold for a 5 million defender to swap Gundagan to Son? If yes, which 5 million defender? I would not remove Trent Alexander-Arnold for a 5 million defender this week, I know you want to replace Gundagan, and I really, really want to get Son, which is why I'm thinking of keeping Harvey Burns for one more week and then maybe making a decision to go for Son. This is one player that I want to get, is Heung-min Son, because of his game week 3 fixture against Crystal Palace. But I think that's just ripping up your entire team too much, If I was you, Abirup, I would not do that. Not this game week. You don't take hits at the start. You spend so much time picking your team, and do you really want to just tear your entire team at the start in game week 2? I would not. Matt says, I think KDB 99% starts looked decent. Yeah, he looked amazing. He changed the entire game when he came on. Whenever Kevin De Bruyne comes on, he pushes the opposition 10 yards back, because they know he's going to play balls behind him. He has the talent which nobody else has. Babin says, thoughts on captaincy? My friend, there are no thoughts about captaincy. I'd say, just you can't look past Salah or Fernandes. If you want to captain a City player, be my guest, bro. For me, I'd say Salah or Fernandes are the best captaincy options. I would even say Salah is the best captaincy option for me, and I'm gonna go with Salah. Let's just finish the captaincy debate, at least when it comes to my team. Smelly Web says, like and subscribe. Guys, we got 25 people watching, which is more than I expected, so thank you so much. Please, if you enjoy what we do here, do like the stream. Bas says, Bruno or Salah captain? I have both. I'd say Salah. I already talked about that. And Baz says I got 103 points, which is really nice. Congratulations, Baz. FPL Sam says, the factor that South American players going international duty makes me want to keep Jota. That is a good point. That is absolutely a good point. And as well, Salah is going to go and play for Egypt. And I'm not sure if he's going to be allowed to play in game week 4, but I think he should be. I don't see Salah missing out any game week due to the restrictions and stuff. So I just want to watch the news, guys, and I'll keep you updated. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, just follow me on Twitter, and I keep posting all the important updates. I might not be like posting 100% of the updates all the time, but I post the important stuff. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I'd say you should. Kayur says, Ings or DCL or Antonio? I'd say Antonio. At this moment, if I had to rank these strikers, I'd say Antonio, DCL, and Ings in that order. And I'd prefer to have DCL in my team in place of Ings right now, but Ings has a good fixture in game week 2 and 3, so let's hope. But if you want to get one, I'd say Antonio is the one to go for. Abirup says, thanks Wiz, we'll wait for game week 3, then we'll have 2 transfers to do that move. Exactly, Abirup. I would not tear up your entire... You spent so much time making your draft, my friend. Do you really want to tear it up in game week 2? I wouldn't. I know Son is a very, very desirable asset, and I want to get him into my team, but we can't have all the players, and we made our decision when we selected our team, right? So yeah. Simba says, will you keep White in your team? Simba, I don't have an option, bro. I don't have an option. The thing is, I don't want to spend my transfers on my defenders. That is exactly where I'm at. I'm just gonna keep him till my wild card, and then just gonna take him out on my wild card, I'd say. Hopefully, game week 4, Arsenal plays against Norwich, so I can play him as well. So that is exactly why I brought him in for. Although I'm not so encouraged after that performance against Brentford, but he's not going anywhere. Nehal says, what is your Lukaku strategy? Trent Alexander-Arnold out. Nehal, I think I am not going to bring in Lukaku until game week 7, or is it game week 8? Where's my notes? I forgot to keep my notes handy. So yeah, Chelsea has good fixtures starting game week 7. That is when I plan to wildcard, and that is only when I'm going to bring in Lukaku. So my plan to bring in Lukaku is only via the wildcard, and that is exactly that. It is then I'm going to decide how I'm going to do it. Possibly maybe sacrifice one of the midfielders or Trent. I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you, but if I get Lukaku, I'm gonna do it in game week 7 and not before that. Sim says Benrahma for Barnes. Sim, I don't know, to be honest with you. Benrahma is fine, he's a good asset and I want to own him. But if I wanted to go for somebody in place of Barnes right now, I'd go for Greenwood. He just looked so good in that game, and I would go for Greenwood. I'll just show you the stats, by the way, in a minute. Paz says, hi Wiz, how are you? I'm fine, thank you so much, my friend. I hope the same for you. So confused of one of the striker. What's your confusion, Keiru? Let me know and I'll help you. Matthew says, what are your thoughts of eventually replacing Tsimikas? I think, Matthew, I won't have to replace him until game week 3. After which, I'm just going to make him sit on my bench, and I'm just going to replace him when I wildcard. I don't think I'm going to waste my transfer on Tsimikas. If he stops playing after game week 3, I'm just going to bench him for the next 3 game weeks, and unless I want a Liverpool player, which I don't think is going to be desirable because I have the 2 best players which I want from pool. So I'd say just bench him for the 3 game weeks that I cannot sell him for, and then in game week 7 when I wildcard, I will take him out. I think, to be honest with you, you should think about the news on Robbo. He's running outside. It doesn't mean that he's fit to play the football match. When you have an ankle ligament injury, it doesn't mean that when you're running outside, I'm not a doctor, guys, but from what I know about football, an ankle ligament doesn't prevent you from kind of running straight in a straight line. It's kind of the motion of the foot that is affected. So even if Robbo is training, I don't think he comes back before game week 4. That's what I think about that. Nike says, I transferred out Pepe provoked by his price fall. Nike, I understand, bro, and that was one of the picks, and that was one of the picks you took a punt on, and I wasn't against that either, but Arsenal were just too bad, and missing Aubameyang, Lacazette, Partey, I don't think it helped, but I wouldn't keep Pepe for the game against Chelsea or against Manchester City. So I think you made the right move, bro. Pass says White to Ailing. Once Rafinha goes out game week 4, who to replace Rafinha with? I'd say there's gonna be more options that are gonna pop out, right? Mbeumo was one I was really interested in, and along with that, I think there's gonna Ismail Assar was one which I was really interested in, to be honest with you, right? And yeah, so let's see. Until game week 4, we'll have so much more data. Talking about data, by the way, guys, let me take you to the Fantasy Football Fix website, and let me show you some of the stats, right? So this is not a silent promotion, by the way. I'm gonna just use their stats in my videos, but if you want to take if you want to get full access to the website, guys, you can do that by using the link in the description. It will give me £5 for the annual subscription. So nothing to hide here. Opta Stats Sandbox. Alright, let's have some Opta Stats. Bazman says, "I like when you do your other type of video." I know, Baz, and I plan to do those videos as well this season. But sometimes the thing is, right now, this channel is kind of just I'm just keeping this channel alive because of my passion for FPL and my passion to kind of to do FPL for as long as possible, because it is not supporting me financially. It's all I'm doing it is because of my passion for FPL and because I enjoy what I do, right? So once I can, I can make more from the channel, or maybe grow this community, grow this channel, I'm definitely going to do more videos, bro. But for now, I'm just trying my best. All right, all right. So sorry if I'm not answering any of your comments, guys. I just need to show you some stats here. All right, so let's see who had the best XG, guys. If you want to see the XG, I'd say we see both the non-penalty and the penalty XG. Where is the XG? So there is the expected. Right. So anybody who's like interested in XG, let me see if you can see it, right. So Antonio had the highest XG, but he did not have the highest non-penalty XG, right? And the XG of his team was pretty high as well. So you see 3.47 for West Ham. That is amazing, right? And for anybody who owns Antonio and Benrahma, or maybe some other players from that team, they should be enthused by this XG. But it is only from the single game against Newcastle. Let me show you non-penalty XG. This is not the name you wanted to see, right, guys? Tarkowski was on number one. Nehal says Villa looking to continue the end of the season trend. They were finally high on XGC. True that, Nehal. Absolutely true. Matthew says, how much is the annual subscription? I have to check it out, Matthew, but I'll definitely let you know, bro. I'll let you know. Let's have a look at the XG, by the way, right? So non-penalty XG was highest of Tarkowski. As I told you earlier, Burnley should have scored more goals, but they didn't, right? So Traore had a pretty high XG, but he's such a bad finisher, that guy. He runs through the entire Leicester defense, and then he just, when he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he puts that ball wide, and it was just so frustrating to watch. Norgard, I don't want to talk about. He's the Brentford defender. He scored against Arsenal. Doesn't make a difference. Wilson's non-penalty XG was pretty high, guys. It was 0.85. Expected FPL points were pretty decent as well, 5.42. So the next is Calvert-Lewin, and this is one which we are really excited about, right? So 0.83 non-penalty XG, and I don't even know who takes penalties for Everton, so I'm not even sure if he's on penalties, but I think it's either it's Richarlison or it could be Sigurdsson. XG of the team is pretty high as well, 2.25. So yeah. Then comes Neil Mopey. The he plays for a team who just made a mockery of XG last season. So but we need to just we see that Mopey had an XG of 0.77. So check, guys, 6 million, West Ham United midfielder. He had great chance to score another goal. He scored one from the rebound from the Antonio penalty miss, but he had a chance to score more. Fernandes, guys, Bruno Fernandes scored 3 goals from an XG of 0.75. That tells you how deadly of a finisher Bruno Fernandes is. He is amazing. When he gets in those positions, he just finishes his meal off. So yeah, Antonio was pretty high on the I think its XG was pretty high, but on non-penalty is on 0.71. Not bad, but his team is pretty good, 3.47. Jota, again, if anybody has Jota, 0.63, good XG. Gibson from Norwich, that's a defender. Richarlison, 0.6 not. So this is these are the players that are high on XG. Let's have some more stats. So let's look at the goal threat and on target in the box, shots in the box. Who's on top, guys? For shots in the box, the player who was on top was Calvert-Lewin. He took 5 shots in the box. Everton were crossing left, right, and center. Like they've got like Andros Townsend and you know, and Dean and all these guys, they're putting in crosses, and Calvert-Lewin is the target man, so he's got 2 on target, 5 in the box. Who else got 5 shots in the box? It was Jamie Vardy. On target 3. So guys, this is amazing, right? Dennis from Watford, 5 million defender, you know, 5 million defender. He had 5 shots in the box, 3 on target, scored a goal and made an assist as well for Ismail Assar. The problem is he got injured, so you know, we need to wait and watch, but this guy is on my watch list. 5 million striker. What else can we want, right? So moving on, and just I won't discuss all the players. Look, 4 million defender Duffy had 4 shots in the box and 2 on target. That is sensational. So if Duffy keeps starting for Brighton, guys, he could be one to watch out for. Really, one to watch out for, right? So and none of them were from open play, so that means they were all from like set plays, corners, free kicks and such. Mope, 4 shots in the box, interesting. Salah, guys, 4 shots in the box. Do you expect anything else from the Egyptian king? I do not. I think he was amazing. Traore, guys, 4 shots in the box. Grealish, 3. See, this is encouraging for anybody who wants to own Grealish. He had 3 shots in the box and on target 1, and XG was less, so they were not highly like high scoring chances, but he still had 3 shots in the box, so that is interesting. That's very interesting. Fernandes, 3 shots in the box, 3 goals, nothing to talk about. James, I don't think he's gonna play too much, so let's not talk about James. Wilson, guys, 3 in the box. Antonio, Soucek, 3 in the box, interesting. Jimenez, Armstrong, Southampton's 6 million striker, 3 shots in the box, 2 on target, scored a goal. Very, very interesting. XG was pretty high as well, so yeah. Tierney, guys, an Arsenal defender, don't want to talk about it, but he had 2 shots in the box and, you know, and 1 was on target. But I wouldn't go near any Arsenal assets at the moment. That's the truth. All right, so I think this is exactly what I wanted to show you. What else do I want to show you? I wanted to show you expected. I showed you this. I showed you all the key stats, I guess. FPL assists, attempted assists. Cancelo, again, you see if anybody owns Cancelo, so you can be just excited by the number of assists he attempts, so you can get some points. And Bruno Fernandes, he scored 3 goals, but he also attempted 3 assists. Lucas Moura, interesting on the counter. Jimenez, Dennis, Townsend is like 5.5, so that's interesting. Smith Rowe, Martinelli, again not going near Arsenal assets. Grealish, 2 attempted assists as well. So guys, I'm just gonna show you all the Opta stats every week, so you know, just, and one more thing I'm gonna show you really quickly is price change predictor, and let's see who's about to rise. All right, so our player Antonio is about to rise tonight. 114% is due to rise. So you know, it's interesting. Antonio is gonna rise tonight. Alonso's not close. He's like tomorrow. Benrahma tomorrow. Dennis 2 days. So none of the players are close to rising tonight, except Mikel Antonio. Now I need to see who's about to fall, and yeah. So Minamino is about to fall tonight. Kai Havertz, if you own him, is about to fall tonight, and that's not very high. So but they're pretty sure that they're gonna fall. Cavani's gonna fall tonight in price. So if anybody owns Cavani, Martial, Iheanacho, Lacazette, Willian, Saka, no, none of the others are due to fall. So that's, I don't think Minamino or Cavani are very highly owned, but Havertz is like 10% ownership, and he's due to fall tonight. And if I have Havertz, I would be tempted to get rid of him, by the way, you know. So this is all about that I wanted to show you from Fantasy Football Fix. And now I'm gonna go and answer some questions which people sent me on Twitter. People actually asked me some questions, and I have to answer that, right? But before I answer their questions, let me read some comments. So Nehal says, I think Dennis is the 5 million forward. That is exactly right. I was talking about Dennis, Nehal. Tanganga was pictured clearing his pockets after the game. He found some loose change along with Sterling and Grealish. He had a fantastic game, to be honest with you. He received a standing ovation from the crowd as well, and he deserved it. He was immense. Was Tanganga. Matt says Tierney was really attacking an option at 5 million after the next two games. Yep, you can get him against Norwich, but to be honest with you, I'm just, as an Arsenal fan, I'm not at all enthused by their prospects. You know, against Brentford, they were spineless. They weren't willing to kind of, put their foot in. They did not. I mean, they did not show the same fighting spirit. They knew Brentford were coming to the Premier League after like 70 years. Their new stadium with the fans back. You have to show some fight. You are the Arsenal, but no, you don't want to do that, right? You want to go there. You want to like a stroll in the park, sideways passing, backwards passing, create no chances, and then like Rory Delap used to scare me all the time with his long throws, and that is exactly what happened, guys. I mean, long throw and Arsenal concede. How stereotypical is that? It's just, and we bought a 50 million centre back. Guys, come on, let's not talk about Arsenal. I spent the entire week, sulking over that loss. Matt says, yep, disclaimer, he plays for Arsenal. Saleh says, had Dennis on the bench. Oh, that's so unfortunate, Saleh. That's so unfortunate, bro. But at least you made the right decision, so you should be proud of yourself, right? So whenever he's fit, you get the chance to play him a game, so you should be happy about that, bro. FPL Sam says Aubameyang. I don't know what's going on with Aubameyang. There was lots of rumors linking him to Barcelona, but Fabrizio Romano just came out and said that's nothing true about that, and Aubameyang is going to stay at Arsenal. So no Coutinho for us. The rumors were that Aubameyang was going to go to Barcelona and Philippe Coutinho is going to come to Arsenal. But I think the player which we're going to sign is Odegaard. Guys, one more thing, disclaimer, Arsenal fan rant. But I really don't know why we want to sign that Sheffield United keeper, Aaron Ramsdale, for 30 million. Are they serious? They sold Emi Martinez for 16 million and they want to buy Aaron Ramsdale for 30 million. Like, do that? What do they want us to do? The fans, they want us to accept that 30 million for Aaron Ramsdale, who ends up getting relegated every season with Bournemouth, with Sheffield. Do they want Arsenal to get relegated so they can get top 4 in the Championship? I don't know, but it is so infuriating when I see us getting linked to Aaron Ramsdale. If it was for like 10 million, I would understand it as a backup goalkeeper. The price being mooted is 30 million, guys. That is insane. If Arsenal sign Aaron Ramsdale for 30 million, I'd say it is insane, right? It is insane. Yeah, so Smelly Web says Zen Biz Zen. Absolutely. I had a bad week, It's the start of the Premier League. You're enthusiastic about your teams. You always want the fan inside of you always makes you want to your team to win. You know the loopholes in your team, but you still feel positive, don't you? And that's I think that's something which is common to all the fans. You always get excited and up for the new season. You're always enthusiastic. And then the very first game, we knew the second and third games were against Chelsea and City, that we're gonna lose that. But we expected us to win against Brentford, and they offered this. No, not happening. Sam Johnston is a better keeper. 30 million for a relegation specialist is absolutely ridiculous, my friend. It is. And if Arsenal they signed Pepe for 72 million. They signed Ben White for 50 million. I don't know how Ben White's gonna be. I hope he's good. I really hope he's good. But and now they're gonna pay 30 million for Aaron Ramsdale, and they sold Emi Martinez for 16 million. Arsenal is the worst club for transfers. We never sell players for a profit. We always buy players for We buy expensive, like we bought Mesut Ozil, expensive, let him go for free. We bought Alexis Sanchez, we let him go for free. We bought, you know, Aubameyang. I think he's gonna go for pennies at the end of his contract. Lacazette, 50 million, we're gonna let him go at the end of the contract for free. I mean, we never make a profit. I think the only players we made a profit on was maybe Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and maybe Joe Willock. But I wanted us to keep Joe Willock. But anyways, let's not change it to an Arsenal Council. It's the FPL Council. Let's focus. And Saleh says Arsenal have so many good cheaper options that maybe they want Sheffield to have the money. I don't know. Matt says, but City paid 100 million for Grealish, who they don't need. To be honest with you, I think they're gonna buy Kane. I am pretty sure that City are gonna buy Kane, bro. Saleh says Livermento and whoever for 4 million. What do you think? I think Livermento and whoever are very good options. Even Shane Duffy. So they're a good option at 4 million now, which we didn't know at the start of the season. So whenever we wildcard, I will probably get 4 million players in my team because we know they're playing. Todd says, are you likely to wildcard into 3 super premiums for game week 7? Who would you add to Salah and Bruno? KDB, Lukaku, Kane, Sterling, Mane, and Vardy. Todd, that is a very good question, bro. So what I'm thinking right now is, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna try and get Son into my team. If I don't take Harvey Burns out for Greenwood this game week, in game week 3, I'm going to try and get Son. And if I don't get Son, what I'm gonna do is, then I'm gonna I think I'm gonna go with one premium striker. If Kane goes to Manchester City, I think that's pretty obvious. If Kane doesn't, then I'd say Salah, Bruno, and Lukaku should be the ones I go for. Especially when we know so many good cheap options are appearing, cheap defenders, cheap strikers. I think we can do it. And by the way, on my wildcard, if I cannot have a balanced team, and I feel that having Lukaku, Salah, and Bruno spoil the balance of my team too much, then I will go without him. Maybe I'll opt for a cheaper option in Kai Havertz. Maybe I'll opt for somebody like Chilwell or somebody, But I'll have a balanced team, one way or another. But right now, I think I want to have Lukaku, especially. And we will have some sample size. If I wildcard in game week 7, we'll have like data of 6 game weeks or 5 game weeks in which we can analyze how Lukaku's actually doing. If he does well, then we bring him in. If he doesn't, then we wait and watch. Just need to have a contingency plan, bro. Jonathan says, hello guys. Hey Jonathan, welcome. There are rumors that Ramsey went out on free is slated to be brought back. I don't think Aaron Ramsey is gonna come back, bro. I think we're gonna sign Martin Odegaard, and that is exactly. I think we love players in midfield with initials MO, right? We let go of Mesut Ozil and we brought in Martin Odegaard. So I think we've got something going with this M and O, So let's hope. I think Odegaard is a good player if we can get him for 25 million, but 45 million for Odegaard is too much. Jonathan says double City for a -4. Jonathan, which 2 City players are you gonna get? Is the question, bro. Matt says that's another question. If Kane goes to City, then everybody's tearing their team up. I don't think so. Even if Kane goes to City, I'm just gonna bring him on my wildcard. I'm not going to tear my team up for anybody, Matt. So I don't think City have really good fixtures for me to tear my team up to get Kane. Yeah. FPL Sam says we really need a limitless chip in FPL. Yeah, hopefully they change something up in the coming few years, bro. Saleh says, bro, what's the plan for game week 2? Can you show me your points this game week? Saleh, I got 95 points this game week, and my plan is to either hold my transfer or move Harvey Burns to Greenwood. Anyways, let's answer these questions real quick, guys. I told you I'm gonna make this stream about 1 hour long, and we're already about 50 minutes into the stream. So I'm gonna answer these questions real quick. These people have taken the time to post their questions, so let's just answer them, right? So the first question that we have is, what do you think about the situation with Barnes? I think Barnes is. I was a little bit concerned when they moved to 3-5-2. I honestly, I was concerned, and I was thinking, what am I supposed to do with Harvey Burns? And really, right now, at the back of my mind, I want to transfer him out for Greenwood, but I'm holding on to my, holding on to my transfer till Friday. I'm gonna think about it. It's not that Greenwood is about to rise or Barnes is about to fall, so I don't have to make an immediate decision. And also, if one of those things happen, I've got 1 million in the bank to make that decision. So I'm thinking about it, but I wasn't inspired by the performance by Harvey Barnes against Wolves. And do I give him one more game week? I think I'm 50-50 with that. I might transfer him out, bro. Hasnain says Gundagan replacement. First of all, I'd say you don't replace Gundagan right now. There are rumors that Gundagan could be fit again, and the scan doesn't show any major damage, so that is something to take note of. And if you really want to replace Gundagan, I would say you go for Greenwood, and that is my best replacement. If you want to upgrade, you want to get a City player, Hasnain, you go for Grealish. Tom says, how long do you keep Tony for? You keep Tony for the next 2 game weeks, and I don't care if he blanks. I think he is the talisman. He's on penalties. He's the talisman of that team. You keep him in the team. I at 6.5 million, I don't think there are many better options than Tony in the forward line. But let's keep him for next 2 game weeks. So you assess Ivan Toney after game week 3. I'd say that. Rafinha out for Benrahma. I wouldn't do it. You brought Rafinha into the team for a reason, right? So Leo, in my opinion, if you brought if you brought Rafinha in the team in game week 1, you keep him. You trust him for the next 2 game weeks. If he doesn't do anything, you take him out. Right, so these are the tweets that I wanted to answer. That's pretty much what I wanted to do today. Let me show you my team. All right. So Todd says, thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, Todd. Akshay says, got fund in the bank. Really like to have a City player in attack. I'd say Grealish is the one you could go for, because I think he's going to be the nailed-on player. Other than that, I don't know which one to tell you to go for. I don't know whether Ferran Torres is gonna start. Phil Foden, if you have the money, obviously KDB is gonna start, but I don't think we can afford 3 premiums, bro. So I'd say the safest pick in midfield, I'd say it could be Jack Grealish. And if you kind of just want to get a City player in, I wouldn't be against getting somebody like Ruben Dias, So yeah. Other than that, the thing about City is just they're so confusing, because Pep Guardiola will be angry, and who knows, he might bench Mahrez against Norwich, because he knows they can win without Mahrez in that game as well. But if you have Mahrez, you keep him. If you don't have him, you don't bring him in. That is exactly where I'm at with Riyad Mahrez. So I think that was a pretty healthy stream, guys, and we managed to finish it in about 58 minutes. that was pretty healthy, right? So if you have any questions, ending questions, I'd be happy to answer that. But if not, then I'm gonna be back streaming again, possibly close to the game week, I guess. So this is it, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending the stream. I was kind of hoping that I wanted to do the stream on Monday, but I went out playing football, and I was totally tired. I didn't have the energy to do the stream on Monday, so I postponed it on Tuesday, but we're gonna make it a regular feature that we're gonna try and do the stream the next day after the games are over. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here with me and attending the FPL Council. You're all wizards now, and congratulations to you on that. Matthew Brown says thanks. Todd says thanks, and Smelly Web. You're all welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. So I'll be back streaming with you guys. Hopefully, maybe on Friday, I'll do a stream if I have something important or interesting to discuss. Otherwise, I'm gonna be here with you on the deadline stream, guys. Until then, take care. And FPL Visit signing out with a beautiful song for you. Take care. Bye bye.